So part 3 of the 5.6 is dealing with this conjugate piece. And again, just to refresh, we're trying to get rid of these radicals that are in the denominator, and we're using this factoring idea that if I take a minus b times a plus b, that always works into the square of the first thing minus the square of the second thing. And if you FOIL it out, you can see that that is exactly what happens because that outside and that inside disappear. And that, by squaring, we get rid of our radicals and we can move forward with good math grammar. So the conjugates are always the same numbers, opposite signs. Don't forget your parentheses because these are single numbers. So the conjugate here is going to be 5 minus the square root of 3. So you see I have the exact same numbers but opposite signs. And then we always multiply top and bottom. So we're still doing that rationalizing bit. We're just making that radical 3 disappear out of the denominator. If you want to go ahead and FOIL this on the bottom, you can, but it's always going to factor into that. So I'm going to do one by FOILing. You have to FOIL top and bottom. And then the second one, I'll do the shorthand. So in the numerator, I have 5 minus 5 square roots of 3 minus the square root of 3 plus the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 all over 25 minus 5 square roots of 3 plus 5 square roots of 3 minus the square root of 3 times the square root of 3. So when I clean things up, my numerator becomes 5 minus, these are identical, 6 square roots of 3. This is really 3 squared square root plus 3 all over 25. That becomes 0. This is the square root of 3 squared minus 3. We have some more terms we can combine right here and right here. And so I have 5 plus 3, which is 8, minus 6 square roots of 3. 25 minus 3 is 22. Now, I still don't have good math grammar because I can see that 8, 6, and 22 are all even numbers. So I need to factor out a common factor in the numerator. And the common factor there is 2. And that's 4 minus 3 square roots of 3 factor. Okay, so you're going to undo the distributive property to take that common factor out. Because remember, I can't cancel next to addition or subtraction. This is all over 22. Now I have a multiplication problem right there, and 2 and 22 will cancel. And so I have 4 minus 3 square roots of 3 all over 11. And that is in lowest terms. So this is a place definitely where all of your fraction, multiplication, factoring skills have to come together to complete these problems. So let's look at this one. 4 minus the square root of 3, the conjugate of that is going to be 4 plus the square root of 3, top and bottom. Because again, you pick opposite sign. Now, according to my rule over here, my numerator, I have to FOIL that. 8 plus 4 radical 3 plus 2 radical 3 plus radical 3 times radical 3. This bottom is going to be the first term squared, 16, minus the second term squared. And if you want, you could write it like that. Clean up my numerator, the square root of 3 over the square root of 3, so I have 8 plus, add 4 square roots of 3 plus 2 square roots of 3 is 6 square roots of 3 plus 3, all over 16 minus 3. Combine like terms, 11 plus 6 radical 3, all over 13. There are no common factors between 11, 6, and 13, and so that is your final answer. So just real quick, I want to show you one more example of a conjugate. I won't work it all the way out, but I just want to make sure everyone is on board. So let's say I had 7 over 5 minus the square root of y. Your conjugate is going to be 5 plus that square root of y. So no matter what is down here, you take the opposite sign with the exact same terms. That bottom piece, if you remember the a squared minus b squared, 5 times 5 is 25 minus the square root of y squared. This numerator is a simple distributive property this time. So I have 35 plus 7y all over 25 minus y. And that is your final answer. So you have all the information from 5-6, and now you can start your assignment.